Before I say anything else, I want you to notice something about yourself. Notice that you are not surprised to be here. Something in you clicked when you say this title, not curiosity, recognition, because the message I'm about to deliver is not going to give you new information. It is going to confirm old information you have been carrying for a long time, alone, without proof, without backup, while everyone around you insisted you were imagining things. The certain is pulling right now in this season of your life, a concealment that has been standing between you and the full truth of a situation is coming apart. And when it finishes falling, and it will finish soon, the world is going to discover something you need to hear. Say it out loud tonight. You already knew. You knew the whole time. Let's talk about what knowing actually felt like, because didn't feel like knowing. It felt like a glitch station. You couldn't just be. You will be in the middle of an ordinary moment with certain people, an ordinary conversation, an ordinary smile, and something underneath the moment would refuse to sit still. The words were right, but the temperature was wrong. The story added up on paper and fell apart in your stomach. You would catch a look that vanished half a second too fast, and answer that arrived half second too slow, and human that was 1 degree too warm to be real. Teeny things too small to accuse anyone with, things that made you sound crazy the one time you tried to describe them out loud. So you did what perceptive people always do when their perception is incompetence. You turned it against yourself. You decided the problem was you. Too suspicious, overthinking again, traumatized, probably projecting old wounds onto insomniac people. You apologized inside your own mind on behalf of people who were at that very moment doing exactly what your instincts said they were doing, and that right there is the real crime of what happened to you. Not just that what they hit, but what hitting it made you do to your own inner voice. They didn't only deceive you, they recruited you into deceiving yourself. Every time you overrode that quiet internal alarm to keep the peace, a small distance opens between you and the truest instrument you own. Hear this clearly: that instrument was never broken, it was never wrong. It registered everything in real time with almost frightening precision. What you called anxiety was often accuracy. What you called everything was pattern recognition running exactly as designed. You were not pregnant, you were early. There is a difference, and the difference is about to become visible to everyone, because here is what is happening behind the synchronous right now, and why This message is reaching you at this specific moment. Every concealment has a mentions cost. A hidden thing is not hidden once. It must be re-hidden every single day with managed stories, managed faces, managed distance between people who must never compare notes, and that cost compounds. The people involved get tired, details drift. Versions of the story to different people begin to disagree in small ways, and small disagreements are how big circles start to tear. Somewhere in the structure that was built around this truth, the seams have already started spreading as sigils has already been said to the wrong person. A detail he's already failed to match. The unraveling has begun, and unravelings do not reserve, they only accelerate. So let me prepare you for the following certain will feel like, because it will come in stages, and knowing the states will keep you steady. First comes the strange behavior before any truth surface. The people connected to it begin acting differently around you, more attentive suddenly, or more distant, unusually generous or unusually irritable. You may already be seeing this. That shift is not random. People can feel exposure approaching the way all animals feel a storm, and their behavior bands around this that is coming before their moods admit anything. Then comes the fragments. The truth will not arrive as a complete completion consistent. It arrives as a piece, and overhead here to remark a message seen at the wrong angel, a third party who mentions something casually, not knowing it was ever a secret, and when that fragment lands, something remarkable will happen inside you. No shock. Your body will not start. It will settle, because the fragments will drop into a space in your mind that was already shaped exactly like it's carried out years ago by all those glitches you were told to ignore. That eerie calm, that sensation of a puzzle piece sliding into a slot that was waiting for it. That is your confirmation that the foundation is real. And then comes the moment you must be most careful with, the temptation to make it loud. When the curtain finishes falling, part of you will want the full ceremony, the confrontation, the public accounting, the look on their face. And I am not going to shame that part of you. It stood guard alone for years, and it wants its due. But listen to me, the truth coming out is not the prize. The prize is what the truth proves about you. Anyone can be handed a revelation. What cannot be handed to anyone is what you know, possess, verified instincts, tested inner compass, documents, proof, written across this entire experience, that when your good speaks against the crowds, your good is the one telling the truth. So here are your instructions for the season of the falling certain, and there are three. One, make peace with your instrument before any external drama resolves. Go back and formally and where you declare on your own intuition. Say it plainly to yourself. You were right. I should have listened. I will listen now. That repair matters more than any apology you will ever receive from anyone else because you will carry that instrument into very future room long after these people are gone from your story. To let the truth do its own heavy lifting. You do not need to expose announces or architecture. Anything falling certain needs no help from the audience. Your only job is to not stand under it when it lands, meaning quietly adjust your distance now before the news starts so that when everything becomes visible, you're already standing where the wretched cannot reach you. They decide in advance who you will be on the other side. Foundation in is a fork in the road. It can settle into bitterness, a lifelong procedures, scrunch that scans every new face for the old crime, or it can settle into the sermons, a calm, quiet mystery that trusts itself and therefore no longer needs to test everyone. Choose the second one now, tonight, before the revelation or arrive, and the truth will make you wiser instead of harder. The certain is falling. Nothing can hold it up anymore, and when it lands, remember this above everything. You are not learning the truth, you are being returned with it.